Hi, I just watched John Shadowburn's 3D video, and I'm not an expert. He is more than expert than I am, but I have my own observations. Uh, this picture that is blinking here for you is the temperature where he lives around Dallas. And this is in February, and this is in the sunlight. So you see, we are up at 100 and yeah, that'll be 102, 103 Fahrenheit in the sun. Well, I suggested to him that he should have two identical temperature measurement devices, one in the shade and one in the sunlight to see the difference, because that is very important. I know there's a lot of you who don't like Mike from around the world, but I don't care who you like and who you don't like. That's your problem, not my problem. He was explaining long time ago, months ago, um, I have that video on my channel, that it will be excessively hot in the sunlight and extremely cold in the shade, and it's going to be protractively worse as time goes by. Meaning, you can be out in the sun and it will feel like you're sitting in 100 degrees Fahrenheit and it's super hot. You go into the shade and it feels like freezing. That's what we are facing right now, people. Mike from around the world to last Thursday, meaning this Thursday, he said that we are going to see these fluctuations. And he said it's going to be predominant. And another thing John was talking about regarding the chemtrails is, well, I have for the last decade told you about what I'm seeing because I'm driving an 18-wheeler, so I have a front row seat to the horizon at all times. And what I have noticed is that our atmosphere is so saturated. So just bear with me. Let me go over and take another slideshow here. Here, and just run them. This is my own pictures taken along my routes. Some in Oklahoma, some in Texas, maybe one in Louisiana, I don't know. But all of them indicate heavy spraying. And what you're seeing here is what I call molecular clouds. These are not real clouds. These are produced by excessive spraying. They're creating these grid patterns. All of the images you're watching now is pictures I have taken, what I observe, and I got thousands of pictures of the sky from Indiana and until we moved to Texas. And I can make a video with all those pictures with some music on, and you can just watch it for yourself, and you're not going to believe your lying eyes. I know what I'm talking about because I'm seeing it. I see exactly what they're doing, and I'm always seeing them spraying in this area heaviest. Sorry, it's not because I'm sick. I had my whiskey here. I had that getting in the wrong tube, and it's provoking my airway right now. But I'm gonna do my best. So, well, where am I? Yeah, they're spraying heaviest in this area. Another thing I told John in my comments is the nanoparticulates that they're spraying up there, which all of it is, we don't know in what concentrations that they are actually spraying. The barium, the strontium, the aluminum, the antimony, the copper, the titanium particulates, and nanotech. We don't know the concentration of it, how many percentage of this and that, and at what time they are using different ingredients to achieve the the wished for weather pattern. Because I have said to you, since 2010, when they killed the loop current, they have been in control of the weather. So the weather that you are seeing on the planet Earth today, especially on the northern hemisphere, is no longer natural weather. It is manufactured weather. And I am positive, and you gotta believe me on that. They are in absolute control of the weather. Why are they in absolute control of the weather? And why do they seek to be in absolute control of the weather? Well, I can tell you one thing. Let me drink some water. Damn. Oh, it sounds like we got an accident out there. There's accidents on my stretch of this road out here all the time. Bloody every day. People driving like idiots. Well, um, where the hell were I? Yeah, the reason for why they need to be in control of the weather is because we got an incoming or already here planetary system. Some call it Nemesis, some call it Nibiru, some call it, well, the real name for it is Hercubolus. It's not as Marshall Masters wanted to be. He says it's a twin sun. It's actually a comet planet. It's the size of Jupiter. It's made of iron. It's highly magnetic because iron is the only magnetic substance known to man. Steel is not magnetic unless it contains iron. Some steels do, to make it a little softness to it, but stainless steel, as an example, is not soft. It is stone hard and brittle in some ways. But metals have different uses, and steel. And steel are alloys of nickel, cadmium. Iron is in it, of course, because steel can rust. There's a lot of different type of metals mixed together to create a very strong alloy, such as construction elements, beams, using in sky rises. They need to have a certain tensile strength. So how they do that is, I don't know. It's chemistry, and I don't understand chemistry too well. But I have said to you for the last decade, they needed to take control over the weather, because if we did not take control over the weather, living conditions on planet Earth would be intolerable. And another thing is, we will be able to bloody see the thing. They don't want us to see it. This is why they're dragging us through all this crap pandemic, and now we're having a looming war. So people don't look up anymore, right? And all our smart gadgets, no one is looking at the sky and observing it. But I'm observing it, even though I got my electronic devices. I'm very interested in the sky. I've been that since I was a kid. So it's natural for me to look up. And that's why I see these things that I'm seeing, and I know that they are doing, and they've been doing that for the last 10 years at least, the same repeating patterns. It never fails. It's always the same type of chemtrailing that they're doing. And it's mainly, as I said, around here, in this area. And this is here where you bloody see the bloody thing coming out from behind the sun, coming at us when it's leaving again. And this is here is going to get the worst. When we're going in this direction around the sun, we are going to fly into its debris field. And when it comes out on the other side, the earth will go to and fro like a drunkard. The earth shall fall over and shall never rise again. Pole shift. It's already happening. Just follow maverickstar regarding the. I can put the link to John's video underneath and maverickstar's channel, and you can go and listen to his observations. And he's an expert on this subject, and he knows bloody well what he's talking about, and so does John. So kudos. So what I'm saying to John is that the nanoparticulates stay aloft when it's warm because they're so light that the warm air keeps them aloft for a long time. When it's cold is where the heaviest spraying is. And when the heaviest spraying is when it's cold, it's because they want it down to the ground. Why do they want it down to the ground? Because they want us to inhale this bloody stuff. And why do they want us to inhale this bloody stuff? Well, they wanted to, as John was talking about lightning rods, they want us to turn us into a bloody conductor of electricity. And it makes it very susceptible if you are filled up in your lungs and in your tissue with metal particulates. Oh, sorry. It makes you very susceptible to attract the lightning strike. Look at that going vertical up there. It's vertical. It's not hanging over the sky. It's vertical. That's crazy, right? Sometimes, if you are paying attention to the sky, you can almost see it's raining down all this particulate. And especially when it's cold, because then it can't stay aloft. Then it's too heavy for the air, and it falls in and down to the ground. And the trees are assimilating or accumulating these nanoparticulates of all these metals. And this is why we have these horrendous fires in California, because they are spraying heavily over the Pacific Northwest. And it's flying in over California and it's dropping itself on California in the higher regions. And that's why we are seeing in the higher regions, meaning in the hillsides, we are seeing these devastating fires, because the trees are sucking up these nanoparticulates with the rainwater. And trees, a full-grown tree, sucks up a full-grown beech tree sucks around 800 liters a day to live and produce oxygen for you and I to breathe, with the combination of CO2. So we do need CO2. So the idea with the global warming, climate change bullshit, that's all a hoax. It's a lie. They're covering for what is coming at us out there. That is what is causing all the problems. It's not the CO2. The plants need CO2 in order to live, and without plants, you and I won't breathe oxygen, because the plants are producing the oxygen. Period. I know that. I have a major in biology. I know bloody well what I'm talking about. So if you're listening to Al Gore and you're listening to Bill Gates of hell, then you're an idiot. You should listen to me instead, because I will not tell you a lie. It's called photosynthesis, and I want you to read what photosynthesis is, and then you will understand how important the CO2 is for the trees to produce oxygen for you and for the animals to breathe. It's crucial. We can't be without it. Period. We will suffocate. So we can't bring down our CO2 emissions, because they have to be there. And forest fires are a natural cycle in our environment, but it's just worse now because everything is drying up. And that's something also Mike, he was talking about. That is, he's worried about the fires, because he says that it's going to rain a lot, and then all of a sudden the rain's going to subside. It's not going to rain anymore. And the sun is so hot in the sun and cold in the shadow, and the UV index is elevated, and it's downright harmful in many cases. Like Mr. MBB, he's doing his UV readings, and he got some startling crap sometimes. It's bad. It's really, really bad, people. Okay? We are being bombarded with radiation and electromagnetic interference from our cell phones, from the cell phone towers, and so on. It's a never-ending story. So, here on Earth, it's a question of how can they efficiently kill us off. As I have said for the last decade, they want to kill us. It's that simple. They want us dead, aka pandemic. You want us dead, period. But how do I get to the real sum of it all? Because there's no reason to explain and how to get to the real sum of it all. Because the sum of it all is they're hiding what is coming. Judgment. They don't want us to see that. They don't want us to repent and return to Christ. They don't want that. They want us silenced, obedient, and take the mark of the beast so they can damn us to hell or have us damned to hell. That's what they want. That's their victory. You understand that? So when it comes down to the nitty gritty, that is, they want you and I to submit, to damn ourselves, and die. That's their victory. That's all they want to do. They want you and I dead. Especially China wants us dead. Especially Americans need to die. Because they want to take our land from us. Our agricultural soil, our minerals, and our oil industry, in order for them to feed their 1 billion people that they're treating like cattle anyway. They want to be the new superpower, and we unfortunately have an administration in Washington right now who is definitely in favor of that. And how do we even allow that to happen? I don't know, but I guess you get what you ask for when you're voting for that kind of crap. Meaning, if you are liberal, you are a complete idiot. I'm sorry, but that's my opinion. You're stupid. You've got to be stupid. You're voting for communism. You're not voting for freedom and the freedom of choice. You're not voting for our Constitution. You're voting for your own enslavement. But that's a whole different matter. Well, all you see here on these images are everything is manufactured. None of this you're watching right now is natural. None of it. These I call the cotton wool cloud because it looks like a bag of cotton wool, but they're all molecular clouds. They're induced by frequencies from the ground called X-rad, and of course also with the help of HARP, but that's mostly the jet stream that they are trying to control so that they can manufacture whatever weather phenomena they want us to experience in order to keep status quo. That's what it's all about. They want to keep status quo to the very last minute where they themselves will have to hide themselves and call upon the rocks to hide them from God on the throne from his wrath. And they all gonna die down there because God's gonna bury them there. Trust me on that. He will kill them all down there. They will never see the day of light again. They go into the bunkers, that's the last thing they do. They die down there because the earth change is coming. It's gonna destroy all these underground cities that they have made for themselves. They're never going to come up again. Isn't that nice to know? The meek shall inherit the earth. And these people who is against us are not meek. Look at that checker pattern there. That's at the rail in Hazlitt. Startling. That's my beautiful wife up there. So these evil people are not meek. They just want to hurt you, hurt us, everyone. It doesn't matter. Look at that. There's 5 airplanes in the sky at the same time, spraying. There was a video uh, clip. I think a Hispanic guy sent me. I actually have that video still somewhere, and that's crazy shit. Flying in formation and spraying the crap out of us. That was in Oklahoma, actually. It's pretty bad. But this chemtrailing making our atmosphere far more conductive. One thing I also think that they're trying to do with the chemtrails, I think they're trying to create some kind of filter in order to minimize the damage that sun rays are doing to our surface of the planet and also to you and I. Look at those lines going straight up. And I mean straight up. They're not lying on the sky. They're going straight up. Look at that. That's crazy. It's difficult to see on a 2D image. But when I saw it, I was just like, what the hell? Looks like hairs. Well, as I said, they're trying to make a filter, I think, also in order to break up, deflect the harmful rays. As Bill Gates, the gates of hell, was wanting to launch a balloon in Sweden and spraying out a stupendous amount of chalk, white powder, into the atmosphere to reflect the sunlight. I think what they're saying is they're trying to combat global warming or climate change with what they are coming up with of ideas. Well, that's the story they're telling us. The real story is our sun is exuding UVA, UVB, UVC rays, harmful, very harmful, and a very high level, and X-rays too, which, X-rays, they give you cancer for crying out loud if you are exposed to them too much. So I think it's a combination of different things to harm us, and also in order to keep status quo, but also in the order to minimize the damage that is being done to our entire environment, the whole biosphere, including us. That's what I think they're doing, frantically trying to do. And at some point in time, it's going to be futile. It's just going to not help anymore. It's worthless because at that point in time, our magnetosphere has been broken so badly down that no matter how much stuff they're spraying up there, it's not going to filter it out. It's going to come straight in. And that is when the scripture says that men will be scorched by the sun, meaning you can only travel at night. If you go out in the sunlight during the day, you're going to die. You're going to get burned and killed by it. How about that? You go out in the sunlight, you stick your hand out in the sunlight, and then you can just hear your skin being boiled immediately. Sensed. Can you imagine that? Well, that day is coming. And that day is coming when the electromagnetic field around our Earth, our magnetosphere, is going to break down. When it's no longer can sustain itself because of exterior influence of Hercubolus or Nibiru or Planet X or whatever you want to call it. And that's when they are going to the bunkers to protect themselves against those rays. But they don't know, they don't understand apparently that they are walking into their own tomb. Thank goodness. Go ahead. Go now. I don't care. Go now. Stay away. We don't want to look at you anymore. We're tired of you. So please go down there now. Leave it up to us, people, to get through this. And another thing Mike has, not only Mike, but several people during the years has talked about that when our electromagnetic field or magnetosphere is going to get very weak, mankind is going to go animalistic. We're going to be very aggressive. We are going to fight each other. And not because we want to, it's just because our state of mind will change and we become more basic without any cognitive, like Joe Biden, ability. We're turning into two-legged monsters, zombies per se. That day is coming. And I think we already see it now, the aggression there is amongst people. I mean, whatever Russia, NATO, and US, and all that crap in Ukraine, I think that is all been planned by the Western world for a long time to provoke Russia into a conflict so we can get this new world order on the road. That's very important to them. They're going to get their new world order for 3.5 years, and then God is going to bury them, kill them all. Not one is going to survive it. Isn't that nice to think about? Think about it, people. Just let those idiots do what they do. Meanwhile, they're doing all their shit that they're doing. Get right with God. Because they have already damned themselves to hell. It's too late for them. They're not going to heaven. They've already signed their soul over to Lucifer, Satan, whatever name you want to give him. They've already done that. So they're already damned. Some of them know that, but they don't care. They just want this. They have this quest of greed all the time. I mean, they are so filthy rich, but they still get up every morning to make more millions, to get more rich. And they don't need to. They could actually do something good about with those money, but they're not doing anything good about with those money. They're actually trying to kill us as fast as they possibly can with all those billions that they own. So let them. Meanwhile, just get right with God. Okay? No one is leaving this planet like Elon Musk is fabbling about. He's an idiot. I think he's one of them. He's just controlled opposition. I don't know, but I can't prove it. But when he's talking about going to Mars and escaping all what's going to happen to planet Earth, he's not realizing that that same thing is going to happen to Mars. That bloody thing has already happened. Look at the star map. Where is Mars right now? When you look at the sun right now, Hercubolus is right up there, left or right to the sun. It's dancing in the sky like the red and the blue Kashina. It takes off its mask. That's when the red Kashina comes in. And why is it red? Why is the Egyptians back in the days of the Exodus describing what they call the doom shape? A red object in the sky, raining fire and brimstone, killing all the firstborns, causing the waters to turn blood red, and all the other calamities that happened during the plagues of Egypt. And every time that the former civilizations, thousands of years before us, are describing what they're seeing in the sky, what color does it have? It's red. Yeah, red. And this planet comet coming in is a gigantic iron ball size of Jupiter, carrying iron oxide cloud for millions of miles behind it and millions of miles wide. And that is going to rain down on us. Plus its magnetic pull on everything it passes is going to cause huge problems. Why are all the planets in our solar system heating up? Oh, maybe they also are experiencing global warming. No, something is going on, and I think what is going on, that is God has said, okay, let it commence. You have your new world order. And when you have had fun for a while, I am going to whip your butt. I am going to teach you a lesson. So either you are with me or you are against me. The choice is yours. The choice is yours alone. And it goes for every man and woman and child on this planet, except those under 12. They're considered innocent. They go straight to heaven. The rest of us need to make a decision. You want to take that mark to gain a couple of minutes more of your miserable life, or you want to go home to where you originally came from. That choice is absolutely yours. All I can do is trying to, you know, help you along. Because I can assure you, when all this is over, all of it, 95% of this world populace is dead. There will only be a remnant left. The rest is dead. It will be a very empty space. You can walk for months without seeing any human beings because they're all gone. Some are raptured. The rest is lying on the ground, rotting away, being eaten by whatever is left to eat of them. That's it. So, would you like to have a front row seat and never cry again, never be unhappy again, never feel anxiety again, always happy? Go fishing with Peter and the Andromeda galaxy and, see all your loved ones again? Or do you just want to stay in eternal darkness, eternal separation from our Father in heaven? That choice is yours alone. All I can do is trying to shake some trees. Some monkeys fall off the branches, hit their head, and wake up and face the music. We have an enemy against us. That enemy is of spiritual nature. That enemy is very powerful. But you're more powerful than that. God made you like that. So if you take all the full armor of God, you can rebuke any evil spirit. And those evil spirits are all around us at all times. as it says in the scriptures, that Satan is like a roaring lion walking about, seeking whom he might devour. But if you have the full armor of God, he's going to flee from you. He's not even going to come close to you. He's not even going to try, because he's got no power there. That's it. Choice is yours. This place is going to hell in a handbasket. So you better make the choice, because you're not promised tomorrow. You're not. Tomorrow could be your last day on earth. But where are you going to end up when that day comes? That's the question. Where do you want to be? You want to be with him, your Father, who made you, created you in his image? Or do you just want to be left in darkness forever? Choice is yours, people. Over and out. God bless you.